from Dijon, classic French circuit formerly used for Grand Prix racing between 1974 and 1984, and saw some great battles when it was the host to the Grand Prix. Well, on this occasion, it's Philippe Alliot, former Grand Prix driver himself, who's taken the pole position for the first race and the second fastest time for the second race. Two separate qualifying sessions for the two races, just as in the British Touring Car Series, a new introduction for the French Championship. Well, I'm on the front row for both races, pole for the first race and second place for race 2. A little bit unexpected for me, as I'm still learning touring cars after 18 years of single-seater racing. But I think the learning process is now being completed. I made a good practice, but now I've got to do the business in the race. Well, a big battle in qualifying, in fact, with this man, Eric Hellery. So it's Peugeot versus Opel, and Hellery took pole for the second race and second fastest time in the first race. So they swapped positions in the two qualifying sessions. Hellery certainly trying hard, as this moment gave evidence. But top man Eric Hellery, very experienced racer now, just getting it a little bit too crossed up in that qualifying session. He says practice went pretty well for me. I got the pole in the second qualifying session, and I should have got pole really in the first one, but I got a little slowed by another driver on my best lap. So second fastest, that's okay, it'll do. This morning I made the best time in the warm-up, so I think if we have no problem, then I should be able to at least take one win. Laurent Aiello in the Peugeot, the reigning champion in the French Touring Car Championship, he took the third fastest time for both races. A little disappointed with that. Well, I've got a lot of problems with understeer that we just couldn't solve in the qualifying. So I'm not too happy with the car at the moment. And I'm not terribly optimistic for the race either. The settings that we tried in the warm-up still not working terribly well. So I'm just going to have to give it my best this weekend. Jacques Lafitte, another former Grand Prix driver racing in the French Series, he got 4th and 5th fastest times in the qualifying sessions, and Alain Coudini got 2 5th places on the grid. Ivan Muller, who certainly was pretty impressive in last year's championship for BMW. Well, 6th fastest time in both sessions, but looking after his tyres. There's a tyre restriction in the French Series, just as in the British, and he was careful to look after them. Philippe Gache in the Alfa Romeo back, and announcing that they will in fact contest the whole championship this year in France. So on to the start of the first race then, 2 rounds of the championship to be held, with each race scoring separate points. 10 points for the win, 8 points for second place. There are 9 events this year in the French Touring Car Championship, with the best 15 out of 18 scores counting at the end of the year. So away they go from the front row of the grid, and look at that, Ivan Muller has suddenly appeared from nowhere. The rear-wheel drive BMW actually leading the race as they come through the first sequence of corners, and that was a tremendous start from Muller, who started in 6th place. Philippe Alliot, well, where is Alliot? He's dropped right back. In fact, that is Alliot there in around about 6th position at the moment. So a terrible start from pole for Philippe Alliot. It's Eric Hellery in the Opel that's in 2nd place behind Ivan Muller. Then Alain Coudini in 3rd. So the 2 Opels running well. And this, in fact, Eric Hellery trying to get down the inside of Ivan Muller. It looks as though the Opel driver's got ahead. And in fact, if Ivan Muller's not careful, he's going to lose that 2nd place back across the start-finish line. Very quick section of the circuit. A lot of slipstreaming going on. And in fact, Ivan Muller goes back ahead of the Opel. So Muller now ahead of Eric Hellery, Alain Coudini in 3rd, Laurent Aiello, last year's champion, in 4th place. Then it's Philippe Gache, and then Jacques Lafitte and Philippe Alliot. So the 2 very experienced veteran Grand Prix drivers there at the back of this group, with Lafitte just ahead of Philippe Alliot, the pole man. So he may have well learnt how to qualify one of these front-wheel drive cars, but he certainly doesn't seem to have learnt how to get it off the line yet. Ivan Muller, no such problems. Rear-wheel drive helping him in that to get away from the line. Look at this battle for the 5th place. Philippe Gache under attack from Jacques Lafitte. And indeed, yes, Jacques Lafitte's gone through. The Alfa Romeo being passed by the other Opel. Ivan Muller and Hellery beginning to pull away. Coudini locking a wheel under pressure from the other Opel, the other Peugeot of Aiello. And in fact, Alio's gone ahead of Gash now, as you could see. Philippe Alliot just ahead of Philippe Gash at the back of this group. But up front, Yvan Muller and Eric Hellery enjoying quite a big battle. Muller finished third in last year's championship with a couple of wins. So certainly an excellent year for him in the French series last year. And he wants to take his first win of the championship so far. It's the battle going further back, and Philippe Alliot now ahead of Jacques Lafitte and Philippe Gash. Gash seems to be struggling a little bit in the Alfa Romeo at the moment. More locking brakes indeed for Alain Coudini, under pressure from Laurent Aiello, the man who was telling us how he was struggling with his Peugeot after qualifying. It doesn't look as though it's going much better. Philippe Gash has got past Jacques Lafitte though. Jacques Lafitte retaken that place. But then, it's a good battle between these two. And Gash now, in fact, getting back past Lafitte and now going on the attack of Philippe Alliot. So it's all still plenty to play for. And there goes Yvan Muller, still leading the race. British Formula 2 champion back in 1992, Yvan Muller. Made a very impressive debut in the Andros Trophy Ice Racing Series last winter as well. And it looks as though he's going to be able to take the win. Indeed he does, here at Dijon. Second place to Hellery, third place to Alain Coudini, fourth place Laurent Aiello. And, a very tight tussle indeed for fifth position as they cross the line, just going to Philippe Alliot from Philippe Gash. 10 minutes gap, and then the second race will get underway. So to the start of this second race then, with a change on the front row, remember, this time Eric Hellery on pole. We go on board with Philippe Gash, who starts back in 7th position. The Alfa Romeo driver, 33 years old now, Philippe Gash. Didn't think Alfa were coming back. He raced for Alfa a couple of years ago in the French Championship. Raced in a Ford Mondeo last year, but happy to be back with Alfa. This is an official Alfa entry. And, it's good to see them back in the French Touring Car Championship. But up front, you can see it's the Opels that have got away up front. Eric Hellery leading from Coudini in second. Yvan Muller definitely not getting away quite so well this time. He's quite a lot further back. In fact, he's in 5th place there. The BMW, the Oreca run BMW 318 of Yvan Muller, not getting away quite so well this time. So he's going to have his work cut out. Eric Hellery leading from his teammate Alain Coudini. Coudini, very, very experienced driver in the French Touring Car Championship. 49 years old now, Coudini. Winner of several production car championships in the 70s. Raced in the DTM as well, German Touring Car Championship for a few years. And here he is in second place in the Opel, chasing after Eric Hellery. We're back on board with Philippe Gash in the Alfa Romeo. Now then, trying to make up some ground. Oh, and he's going to go past Philippe Alliot here. Looks for the inside line, takes it. And Alliot going in wide. It's a difficult corner, that the ideal line to go in nice and wide, and Alliot did that, but of course losing the place. Yvan Muller, meanwhile, is on the attack as well. So up front, Eric Hellery locking that rear wheel. And a change there. Coudini is passed by Laurent Aiello. Yvan Muller also on the attack. We go on board Philippe Gash. We can see that Muller has completed that move. Yes, he has. So Muller up into 3rd place, just ahead of Coudini. And Philippe Gash in the Alfa now, beginning to attack this little group as well. So Eric Hellery, our race leader. 2nd place, Laurent Aiello, last year's champion, the Peugeot driver. Now under attack from the BMW of Yvan Muller. Philippe Gash on the attack as well. He wants to get past the other Opel, that of Coudini. And it looks as though he's squeezing his way through there. So the Frenchman Gash gets through, fellow Frenchman past Alain Coudini. And there's the Alfa, just ahead of the yellow and white Opel. There's Philippe Alliot. Still not having such a good run in the races in themselves. But, I have to say that Eric Hellery is looking quite comfortable at the moment. Man who won Le Mans for Peugeot a few years ago now, back in '93, Eric Hellery. But, I say he's looking comfortable. But Yvan Muller now closing up. Problem here at Dijon, puts a lot of stress on the left front tyre, and for the front-wheel drive cars, then that really is quite a problem. You can see these sort of corners as we go back on board with Philippe Gash. Yes, he has gone past Alliot, But you can see there's a lot of loading going on the front tyres, and the front-wheel drive cars, their tyres just beginning to go off towards the end of the race, and the rear-wheel drive BMW is now really putting Eric Hellery under pressure. It looks as though Hellery's tyres may well have gone off by this point, and Ivan Muller now slipstreaming past, he goes through. So Ivan Muller takes the lead in the BMW, and well, he certainly won it easily in the first race. It looks as though he's going to take victory in the second race here at Dijon. Yes, indeed, Muller wins it, with Eric Hellery holding on for a long time, but couldn't hold him off at the end, finishing in second place. And Philippe Gache, in fact, coming through to third in the end. So the Alfa Romeo driver really going well in the final stages. Ivan Muller saying, well, it's the result of teamwork. Mechanics have been working really hard. I've worked hard. Been working for hours in the motorhome with the engineer. And as mechanics said, we haven't worked for nothing. So Ivan Muller leads the championship now from Alain Coudini and Philippe Gache.